In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you today? Tell me if I'm a little low in the mix. There's some funny things going on in my headphones, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you don't notice anything, I've preceded that problem in your head now, which you might manifest. I've been listening a lot to the work of, oh my goodness, I still can't remember his name. I had this conversation with Bob and Viv yesterday, didn't I? Vincent Goddard, I want to call him. Neville Goddard. I don't know why it's so difficult. Maybe it's because the guy I'm listening to is an AI voice, and it kind of, my mind knows that it's like, although it's allegedly his real words, it's been messed about with, and maybe that's what the AI age will do with us. It will kind of pull the layers of consciousness apart and not mess with our minds necessarily, but give us a new perspective on things. How you doing? It's definitely turning into spring forward week here on the Good Morning Portugal show. We're in the Bom Dia Daily section. Lovely news article from the Portugal News this morning, telling us that life expectancy in Portugal has risen. And we'll look at that number. Of course, the quality is important as well as the quantity. So I'm going to be looking at this lovely book as well that Aoife has sent us, The Art of Unwinding. And, you know, Aoife Brewster, who's appeared on the show, often on this, the Wellbeing Tuesday of the month. This morning, we're talking to Mel of the Wellbeing Tips that you'll have been seeing in the chat more recently. And Marion Geray, of course, of Walksperia, who's talking about Qigong and Chinese traditional medicine. I don't know which part of the body she'll be having us massage this morning. Well, we're lucky to have you, T-Duck. Can only watch for a few minutes. We're off to Caldas Market, to the Praça de Frutas. I'm guessing Bom Dia ALEGRIA Gumpers. I better get that greeting in quick before you go. Have a great day, my friend. It's sounding like it's lovely all over Portugal this morning. This is exactly how it should be. I don't mean to be shoulding on you, but this is perfect. As I look out of my window and through the net curtain, I can see the beautiful blue sky that I originally envisaged in my mind's eye when choosing Portugal as a place to live. Pete agrees. What a stunningly beautiful spring day. Just glorious. So, yeah, it is a spring forward week as we make our way towards the clock change, which I think is midnight on Saturday of this week, which happens during me hosting a summit on new reality, or for new reality TV this weekend. Many of the teachers and speakers and presenters of new reality TV will be offering seminars, webinar sessions on Saturday and Sunday, and I'll be emceeing and hosting them as they make their way onto the virtual stage. And then come Saturday night, we have a Portuguese time change, which means that a lot of the people I'm dealing with in the United States, it changes how I am in relation to them. It's going to be quite the feat of mental arithmetic. It's going to be interesting and good fun, all these clock changes. But I think it means, does it not, Farmer Pete, that it's going to be much brighter in the mornings for you as we spring forward, and we celebrate that fact here on the Good Morning Portugal show all this week. Bon dia, Carl and Gumpers from a hot Belfast. Was 12 degrees overnight yesterday. Oh, okay. Was 12 degrees overnight. Yesterday, a stunning 17 degrees. Who needs Portugal? There's no need to be like that, Deagle. Who needs Portugal and warm rain when we have lovely weather here? The warm rain, as you put it, is behind us now. It's still clearing up, I think, in some parts of the country, but it's as though it never happened. That's the funny thing about the weather here. Honestly, well, unless, of course, you have had devastation. And I think there's been a bit of a trembler in the Algarve this morning, a slight tremor. Honestly, never had a March weather like it. I sit out the back, watch washing. Well, living the dream, mate. Life in the fast lane, watching the washing dry, having a coffee, the radio and the sun blocker on. It's great, isn't it? Rush outside into the sun and then block it. Funny, aren't we, us humans? Spring here is just fabulous too, Deagle. We needed all that rain. Yeah, whatever, Pete. The farm is looking so lush and verdant. Well, there's a little strimming job later on today. Bon dia, Gumpers. Morning to you, Jackie. Nice to see you, albeit briefly last night. Bon dia, ALEGRIA Gumpers, of course, from T-Duck. Okay, thank you for that production feedback there, the best kind of feedback. None of you are noises of feedback, positive feedback here, being heard loud and clear in Belfast. Good news, thank you. Mike and Karen in Miranda de Corvo, one bag and a passport. Can only watch for a few minutes, of course. Yes, are you still here, T-Duck? Go on, away with you. I really need to I totally understand this. I really need to get out and get some sunshine. Get some of that Vit D on yourself, my man. Not a cloud in the sky. You have a priestly tone to you this morning, Peter. Peter the priest. Oh, doing that has hurt my throat. I won't do any more Gregorian chanting this morning. Might have to suck on a fisherman's friend or similar. Look at these. Does anyone else buy these when they're in Aldi? I've loved buying these ever since I've been going to Aldi in Portugal. The orange ones are very nice, but this is good when you've got a poorly throat. The ervas com mel. There is your Portuguese bit of vocabulary this morning. Herbs with honey. Chinese 5-spice on there. And very delicious they are too, but I won't try and eat them while I'm talking to you. That would be rude. Bon dia, Pam. I think the clock's changed at 2 o'clock. Okay. I don't think anyone's going to argue over that, are they? Because everyone's going to be asleep. Oh my goodness. The legend meant to send you a message yesterday, howtorepair.com. Absolutely love your channel. T-Duck, I think you would love How to Repair's channel. And that message was amazing. Just to let you know that your email on your YouTube account was bouncing, so I couldn't help your mate with his washer. That's so sweet of you to come after us. I know how busy you are, and I know how prolific you are. You're amazing. I love your YouTube channel. And the amazing thing about this chap, howtorepair.com, is he got fed up like me with the Portuguese weather and went to the Sahara instead. Not moaning like me and just staying there and putting up with it. I'm going off to the Sahara, says howtorepair.com. And T-Duck, you and I have been doing outside broadcasts, of course, and without your help, the Good Morning Portugal outside broadcast wouldn't be possible. How to Repair looks like you went to the Sahara in your camper van and set up an outside broadcast unit with multiple monitors and devices from a power pack. It's incredible. Your grasp of technology is at Jedi level, generally speaking, with all the machines, but clearly you've mastered it in the tech department as well. So fantastic. You're so inspiring. Thank you for gracing us with your magnificent presence. This little acorn of a channel. You are a mighty oak to me, howtorepair.com. And thank you for tracking me down and handing that message to me personally this morning. How is the Sahara this morning? Amazing. We're going from the Sahara to central Portugal in about 10 minutes to be with Mel, who I think feels like she's more in the Serengeti than the Sahara, possibly, or some other swampy, boggy place. Is the Serengeti swampy and boggy? I don't know, but that's the tone and timbre, I think, of the environment where Mel is, and we'll be hearing about her plan and dream. We heard about how and why she moved to Portugal on her debut appearance on the Good Morning Portugal show, back in her official residence here, and talking about how we might work together more positively and fruitfully for the future here in Portugal. And I think she has a dream very similar to the one that I had been nursing here in Portugal until the plans changed and the plot twist happened. But it's never too late to go back to the rural idyll, is it not? Carl, officially it's 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. Clocks change in March, and did it used to be midnight? And the end of October it's 2 a.m. It goes back to 1 a.m. Okay, yeah, when it causes minimal disruption, I suppose. It causes a lot of disruption, doesn't it, every year, and people moan about it. And I'm not sure. It's like another one of those polarizing issues, isn't it? I don't think that's going to be, if it's ever to change the daylight saving, it probably won't be through consensus, will it? It'll have to be benevolent dictatorship on that. It's our weekly meetup today in Parque Verde in Alcobaça. Was it 5 years that the Parque Verde is celebrating its anniversary, Pam? I wonder if we'll be able to sit outside. Won't that be lovely? Hold that in mind. The law of assumption can work for you too, Pam. Bom dia a todos e feliz terça. Beautiful here this morning with blue skies and a blazing sun. Coffee, training and coaching today after child wrangling yesterday. Enjoy. You'll like the message I've got from Aoife in just a moment. Definitely a picnic meetup, Pam, and love the child wrangling. Ian Turner from Peter there. Right. Let's have a look at this article in the Portugal news then. Loving this. And of course, it is important to consider quality as well as quantity. However, on the quantity side, and well reported here by the Portugal news, life expectancy rises in Portugal. Portuguese people can expect, spoiler alert, I suppose it is really, isn't it? It's good news and bad news. It's good news if you're in your, well, anything less than 70, I suppose, psychologically. However, if you are 82 and a half, it might not be such great news. Portuguese people can expect to live, gotta laugh. What else can you do? Portuguese people can expect to live to 82 and a half years. According to Idealista, European citizens can expect to live longer. Than who? Life expectancy at birth in one of the 27 European countries stood at 81.4 years in 2023. Bear with. Still hear that little cough. It's on its way out, though, you little rascal. Although, thank you for bringing the gifts. The shamanic, the feverish shamanic experience of man flu. I thank you for the new realizations that have been bestowed upon me. But see yourself out. Expectancy at birth in one of the 27. No, I still need to cough again. Hold on. Please cough and talk among yourselves. Right, that should be it now. According to Idealista, European citizens can expect to live longer. Life expectancy at birth in one of the 27 European Union countries stood at 81.4 years in 2023, exceeding the value recorded before the COVID-19 pandemic. In Portugal, life expectancy also rose to 82.5. In 2023, life expectancy at birth in the EU was 81.4. In one of, I think there's something a bit wonky with this reporting. Anyway, let's continue. Life expectancy at birth. I'm not doubting the numbers. It's just how it's written that's confusing me a bit. Maybe you too. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just being an idiot here. Life expectancy at birth in the EU was 81.4 years, marking an increase of 0.8 years compared to 2022. Another cough. I've just had this horrible realization that I muted the wrong channel just now and coughed all over you and snorted and did all sorts of disgusting things. It rose 0.8 generally in the EU after having decreased in 2020 and 2021. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play Marion's video. I might have to play it again a bit later, otherwise she'll tell me off. But I'm going to play a video while I have a really good cough and enjoy it rather than just making a half-hearted attempt of it. So here you go. Here is Marion's springtime formula. No, it's not. That's a still. And you nearly got me coughing on you then, which would have been quite unpleasant. Okay, traditional Chinese medicine and springtime.
Spring is a time to refresh. Start with green tea, a gentle detox for the season. Hydrate and cleanse with celery and cucumber. Kimchi supports gut health. Power up with sprouts, tiny but packed with nutrients. For a quick spring miso soup, mix miso paste into warm water. Add mushrooms and tofu. A probiotic-rich boost for your gut and a great source of plant-based protein. Nourish, refresh, and flow with the season.
Look at you, Marion. I love that. I'm sure that was music to Peter's ears as well. And I think she'll clarify exactly how we cleanse with a cucumber when she joins us in about, 25 minutes. Right. Okay, everyone's coughing, aren't they, this morning, Mel? Right. Going back to life expectancy. And there's an irony here, isn't there? Man struggles to make it through life expectancy article live on the Good Morning Portugal show. I will make it. Right. Where was I? In 2023, life expectancy at birth in the EU was 81.4 years, marking an increase of 0.8 years compared to 2022. After having decreased in 2020 and 2021 due to the pandemic, life expectancy reached higher values compared to 2019 before COVID-19. This is also the highest value recorded since 2002, reflecting a total increase of 3.8 years, explains Eurostat. in a press release published on the 14th of March. Those born in Portugal, it's breaking it down into areas. Any surprises there? We'll come back to that. Those born in Portugal also have a longer life expectancy. This indicator rose in 2023 to 82.5 years, above the 81.8 years recorded in the previous year, and above the 81. Are you keeping up with this? And above the 81.9 years recorded in 2019 before the pandemic crisis. You get the gist, I think, even if all of those numbers, even if that tirade of numbers was a bit confusing. Eurostat, I think my dyscalculia kicked in during that. Eurostat data also reveals that life expectancy in Portugal for 2023 differs depending on the region of the country. Well, I guess it would. When you look at numbers like this, it's going to vary from street to street as well, isn't it? However, the generalities of the regions are here, depending on the region in which one is born, being much higher in the north of the country. Life expectancy higher in the north. That's a bit counterintuitive, isn't it, where it's cold and chilly? But there must be something they're doing right up there to live at least long. There's no reference here. Did you notice recently that Portugal's gone down in the global happiness index? You're on your own with that. You're going to have to boost your own happiness index, folks, for the time being, until the stats catch up. But yes, in the north, I think these are done in numerical order. Yes, they are. Island life is not so forgiving, although I guess the difference is only 3 years. But, that's quite a long time if you're waiting for a bus. North 83.2, then Centre 82.9, Western Tagus Valley 82.2. You get the picture. And in the autonomous region of the Açores 79.5, and the autonomous region of Madeira 80.6. In Portugal, as in the other member states, who doesn't like a member state first thing in the morning? Women are also expected to live longer. We're used to that, aren't we? 85.3 years than men, 79.5 years. Well, that's quite a difference, isn't it? There is a difference of 5.8 years of life higher than that recorded in the EU as a whole, 5.3 years. Wow. So that differential has increased then between men and women in that time. You may speculate as to why. 500, look, shiny thing, 500,000 euro scratch card win. I've had a few wins. I'm in that loop of winning back my stake, so to speak. STAKE. You don't win a stake. You carnivores who thought I was talking about the lottery here where you win a stake. No. I keep winning my €2 back in what's like a loop of hope. And I've got some to take back to the Raspadinha shop. I'm feel naked without me Good Morning Portugal surrounded. Actually, my Bom Dia Daily. There you go. That's better. But anyway, that's an interesting little article there about life expectancy in Portugal. And given that this is Wellbeing Tuesday, very briefly, let me mention and thank Aoife, who sent me her lovely book, The Art of Unwinding. The last copy I had of this I actually gave to my mum. So my mum's got a copy of this. I now have again in my possession The Art of Unwinding. And I'll go to page 24. I'll also get my glasses, if I had any. Let me show you as well the lovely poster that she shares with her book too. This is a wonderful poster. We're going to put it up in the studio. The Art of Unwinding, and a few stretches there. Isn't that nice? Lovely poster. I like the colours on that. Very cosmic in their purple there. And back to the book then. And I think I'm looking at the conclusion of... No, I'm not. I'm looking at general advice on page 24 of The Art of Unwinding, which gives that time-honoured advice, which you might expect, but people still don't do it. Drink plenty of water daily. And after a treatment session, generalisation there. I do, say some people who carry around those massive buckets of water. Muscular pain from dehydration occurs when your dehydrated body pulls the water it needs from the muscles. For any exercise involving sitting, lying down, kneeling, etc., I think you'll like this, Coach Turner, you should have a good firm cushion underneath you. It sounds like grandma advice, doesn't it? A good firm cushion, dear, is what you need, and a blanket over your knees. For example, 2 yoga mats or a good carpet make the exercises more comfortable to perform, and those exercises are in this book. To make lifestyle changes that will last, I see what she did there. I suggest trying a few different things to find out what works best for you and your body. Exercises that use your own body weight, such as push-ups and sit-ups, are great. There's a lot out there to try. Do what you enjoy. And there's a little bit of advice here. to do do things that make your heart beat faster. Isn't that nice advice just anyway? The idea that, you know, an aerobic deficit might make you breathe a bit faster and your heart beat faster. But also, things that make your heart skip a beat, and the excitement of seeing things that might make your heart beat faster. Among them here, Tai Chi, and I would include Qigong in that particular ballpark. Meditation, she says, does that make your heart beat faster? It can do, I guess. Depends what goes through your mind. Skipping, climbing, acrobatics. Anyone? Hockey, walking, roller skating, skateboarding. When was the last time you were on a skateboard? Rugby. Colin would approve of that. Swimming, of course. Circuit training. And how about a bit of the bunga bunga? Get a dog as well, says the Portugueser. 2 45-minute walks daily. Well done, Portugueser. Interesting to see you last night. You were a bit negative last night, weren't you, in retrospect, on Munson and the Geezer last night. And anyway, let's move on. Thank you so much, Aoife Brewster, for your book, The Art of Unwinding, which I suggest if you search for that, you'll be able to find it and have one sent to you too. I will come back to more of your greetings, and howtorepair.com is still with us. Fantastic. John's arrived. Joao de Nort. Aviva, who was with me last night, has arrived too. So we'll come back to your comments in just a moment after we welcome Mel. Let's say hi to Mel. Well, I mean, that's loud. Hi, Mel.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, loud and clear. Actually, you're frozen with your visuals, but I can hear you, which is the main thing.
I wonder why my
in your car, Mel?
I'm in my car. Yes.
Why is that?
I have to be in my car because I have these 2 dogs.
Oh,
who
right.
decide anytime I'm on the phone doing something that they're going to have a play fight and bark and chase each other over the house and over me and all of those things.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Just like a cat needing to show its bottom when you're on a Zoom call, it's kind of
That's
automatic, is it? Right. Okay.
It's best the cat than a human, though.
Right. Well, we've got a lovely still image. Portuguese, you were a bit negative last night. Oh no, I wasn't. Very good. I see what you did there. Mel, we have stills, and that's good enough for now. The main thing is that we can hear you, and we heard your backstory, really, didn't we, last time when you were here with us on Good Morning Portugal? And it occurred to me when we were discussing what we might talk about today, some positivity in the mix would be nice, wouldn't it? We're hearing a lot of how people are divided and falling apart in all sorts of ways in the news agenda. There are loads of great things going on in the world, of course, as well. And ultimately, it comes down to us, doesn't it, personally, to act as we see fit. And I think you're doing that here in Portugal. Would you care to tell us a bit more about your plan and vision for your piece of land that you mention occasionally when you join us in the comments?
Yeah, if it's okay, I'll come back to the land, and I wish we had 3 hours because this is a topic that I'm very passionate about, actually.
Yeah.
And love. And when I woke up this morning,
can I stop you just for 1 minute before you get started? I'm getting a lot of rustling as well, as though your headphones might be rubbing on your jacket. Yeah, if you could hold your mic away from your jacket, that'd be awesome.
I'll hold my mic away from my jacket.
There you go.
Yeah, when I woke up this morning, I did what many people do, which we shouldn't, is have a quick scroll of the phone. And and you're right, there's so much division and anger and, but for every post that I saw that was like that, I saw another one, which was things like, which we can also come back to, the pyramids, the new discoveries of the pyramids.
Yeah.
And I saw something about new discoveries of medicine helping cancer. And so, I think we have a big uprising in both at the same time. We have this massive increase in division and anger and polarization of opinion and all of that sort of stuff. But then we also have this massive uprising in new discoveries, new things, new ways that I think's awesome. And I think something you touched on the other day about AI, for me, it makes me go ick, and I'm scared of it.
Yes.
And I don't like the thought of it. I don't like what it's doing. Having said that, I also thought your view was very valid, is that it frees us up to discover our true skills.
Yeah.
And I don't think we even know what those are. And I think there's a massive uprising of people who are learning more about things like telepathy and telekinesis, and as much as some people may say it's not possible, I've had personal experience with it, and personal experience with people who can do this stuff, and
Hold on a
it's
minute. Who says
exciting.
that? Who says that?
That it's not real.
Are you talking like telepathy here, like psychic communication?
Those sorts of things. A lot
Yeah,
of people still don't want to accept that they're real, and that's fine. But it's, I don't know why you would want to not accept that it's real. I mean, the prospect is exceptionally exciting.
Yeah.
I spend an hour or two, well, hours and hours over weeks fighting with Nosh over my internet service. We don't need an internet service if we can talk telepathically. So
Right.
why wouldn't we be excited about that prospect and what's happening and all of those things? But I think one of the things, and if you don't mind, I'd like to go out a little bit broad and then come back into day-to-day
Of
practicalities.
course, yeah.
I watched I just happened to scroll on Instagram onto a page, someone I don't even follow. It just come up, and I was getting dressed, and this came on, and it was this incredible speech. And I don't even want to tell you who it is. This is how divided the world is. I don't even want to tell you who it is because
Yes.
that would
Trigger
potentially,
alert.
yeah, trigger alert and make people discount the message
Yes, that happens,
without
doesn't it?
even considering it.
Yeah.
And I think in a practical sense, for starters, that's one thing we can do is listen for the message and ignore who it came from.
Yeah.
Because all good people occasionally do bad things, and all bad people, if you want to use that term, can do good things and
Here's
have
a
good
thought.
messages. So,
Yes.
you know, but anyway, ignoring who it was from, and I'm quoting it, so I feel bad to quote it without crediting it, so maybe you can put
Yes.
it in the chat later. But he was saying, we have so many things we're passionate about, and this is what's causing all our division as well, apart from fear, is being passionate about topics. And he said, and I'm just going to read it out, our question is, how do we get other people to care
Yeah.
about whatever it is that we're passionate about? But he
Yes.
said that's the wrong question. The question is, how do we be the utmost service to humanity?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just went, if we can put ourselves in that mode all of the time, then that brings unity and working together. Because if we're about to jump online to express our opinion, to get someone else to care about what we care about,
Yes.
if in that moment we go, is this the best service to humanity? Is
Mm.
this the best thing I can do in this moment to be of service to humanity? It doesn't mean that we should never express an opinion, or that it's not a good thing to educate someone on something we may know something about. But usually it's not about educating someone on something we actually know any more about than they do. It's just expressing an opinion. And maybe our better option in that moment is to say, okay, there's a group of people who are passionate about that, who do think like me, and I'm educated and know a lot about it. So why don't I spend that moment sending a message to one of those, say, did you realize this as well? Did you
Yeah.
know this about this? And to expand that knowledge. And is it better to just go, in that moment that I would spend 2 minutes doing that, is a better use of my time to send a message to a friend or an
Yeah.
ex-friend who we've fallen out over some
Yes.
politics cause or whatever,
Yeah.
and go, you know what? We've fallen out and your opinion's different to mine, and that's the way it is, and it's probably going to stay that way. But I just wanted to tell you this morning, I really valued our friendship.
Mm.
We had some great times together. We may never
Oh.
have them again, but
Yeah.
you know, I, you're a great person. I wouldn't
Yes.
have been hanging out with you for 30 years if you weren't a good person.
Yes.
Um, and so we see differently now, and that's okay. But I do miss you.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Oh,
a
lovely.
better use of our time?
Yes.
So if we can, and then it comes back to to the everyday of, what's the best service that we can do to humanity?
Yeah.
Maybe the best thing I can do is try and grow some fruit on my land that benefit my health, because I'm eating organically and I'm eating well and I'm healthy. When I'm healthy, I can do more good things for other people. I'm looking after myself as a priority, so no one has to care for me. If I have the opportunity, then I can step out and care for somebody else. I can take the leftovers of my food and leave it in the village and say, does anybody want this? There's so many more things you can do on a practical basis.
Yeah.
If your constant focus is on how do we be the utmost service to humanity in this moment?
Look what you've done here, Mel. I'm not
I
crying.
know.
You've moved the Portugueser, and he's pretending he's not crying. It's okay, Tony. I am a little bit weepy as well. You and me both, mate. That is such a lovely. I don't want to call it an idea even. It's a message, and it's a really powerful one, Mel, and very timely. I think it's lovely, what you're suggesting there. And what came to mind is the difference between, we're in a kind of sales world, aren't we? We're always trying to sell each other things and persuade each other about things. And that sounds more like influence and inspiration. I suppose letting our lives be our example rather than our ramming our ideology down anybody's throat, which, is quite popular at the moment. But with that
And
comes...
I understand it.
Yeah.
Because I'm prone to it too.
Yes, same
don't
here.
get me wrong. I'm not the
Yeah.
oracle here. But I tell you what, I was a salesperson for a very long time, and I had my own businesses, which by definition, you pretty well have to be a salesperson if you're going to run a business.
Yep.
And you cannot sell well. I was one of the most successful salespeople in my field in Asia Pacific. You cannot sell anybody by trying to persuade them on anything. You sell someone because you show them value.
Yes.
You show them that there's something there, and you walk away if there's none. One of the reasons I got so much business in sales was because if I walked in and someone said, oh, well, that's great, but our current supplier has this and, does this for us. And I look at it and go, and I'd say, you're right. I think you're doing really well. But if they fail you at some point, here's my phone number.
Yeah, very good.
And I'd walk out.
Yes.
I can't help you. I can't do better than that.
Yeah.
And that's not what you need right now. So stay with it.
Yes.
But
Very
you know
good.
where I am.
Well,
And
imagine that made quite a profound impression on people anyway, that style, right? Because I think people's experience or expectation of salespeople is like, oh, we're not going to get rid of this woman. She's gonna try and sell us. And to walk away like that is a bit of a sales mic drop, I think, isn't it?
and I think then that what you gain, and it was genuine because it's always the way I've lived my life and done business and whatever, was that if I can't provide you value in the moment, then there's no use me being here. And you're only going to stay short term anyway. Why would I waste all this energy bringing in a new client? And, it's hard dealing with a new client. I want them to stay, and they're only going to stay if they get value. And our friends only stay if they get value with our friendship.
Wow,
in some form.
Yes.
And our community only stays. And I see one of the things I suppose I was thinking about last night about this topic for us as a collective in Portugal is that, we can do a whole 3 hours on building decentralized community, because that's what I think the world needs. And
let's do that another time. I'm not fobbing you off. I just think that's a really good idea.
I think there's so much we can talk about. We don't take responsibility for ourselves in our community. That's the reality. And
what do you mean by
hard.
That? What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that we turn and say that bloody government.
Yeah.
That bloody government does this. And that well then change it. And you go, that's too hard. I'm just one person, da 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 da.
Yeah.
But you can walk down the street, as I did the other day, and went, God damn it, they haven't fixed the hole in the street. But I do have a bucket of rocks down in my land that I can quickly just chuck in this hole, so that all of us driving down this street this week don't go down this pothole.
Yeah.
And one of my Portuguese neighbors, laughed, and I went, dead evil, and put it on, but he smiled and waved. That's building community.
Yeah.
And we need to build community, and it's great that we're building a community amongst the immigrant population that we are. And of course, there's some wonderful Portuguese people who are part of the good GMP community.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, we
awesome.
love them.
We need to keep
Special
doing
love.
that.
Yes.
But we need to do it in our own village. We
You're
need
right.
to. I go down to the cafe nearly every day, and largely to learn. I don't even like their coffee. Largely to learn the language.
Can't get a
But
flat white in there,
also-
can you?
Oh, but it's to interact. And I walk down there thinking, what can I ask someone today so
Yes.
I can get them to answer me? I don't understand a word they're saying, but I'm trying. And so that I can talk to them and show interest. And of course, in the middle of the day, there's a lot of elderly women in there and some men, but a lot of elderly women. Their face lights up when I walk in now because, yesterday I was in there with a friend. We had our Portuguese language books, and they're looking and said, good morning. And I held up the book, we're trying to learn. And they're so excited
Yes.
that we're trying. And then they're standing there telling us, no, don't use this word, use this word. And then purposefully I'm yelling out, Sarah, how do I say, she doesn't speak English. Como se diz, everybody left, the women all left. And I said, acabamos or acabaramos or como se diz, and they finished, they left. And she said, no, it's terminei e embora, vai embora or something,
Yes.
And so I learned something. She's excited. She's come over, started writing on a piece of paper how to say
Wonderful.
this stuff. Now, this is building community, and
Yeah.
this is getting to know each other and building community. And we have to do that. If we're living in Portugal and we expect to live in a unified society, then we have to be a community. We have to offer assistance. We need to ask for assistance. We have to understand. It's not a lecture on learning the language. I've been here 6 years, I think 5.5, 6 years, and I struggle with the language still. I get it. I've really been resistant to learning, but we can't have community without it. We will not survive as a community if we don't interact. We'll survive as tourists. But if we're
Yes.
truly trying to build community and kindness, that comes from the moment we step out the door.
Yes.
Saying to the woman, and I saw this woman this morning, literally as I was getting in the car to drive down here, she was just outside with her baby, who was a baby when I arrived, and I just saw it running up the street. And I stuck my head out the window. She probably thinks I'm insane.
Probably.
And says, "Bebe, corre, corre," the baby's running, And she smiled and laughed. And then I saw her a few minutes later as I was getting in my car with her head propped up against the window, and I think she's on her phone. And I just tapped on her window and said, "You okay?" And she said, "I'm okay." She just took a moment. But, I would like to think that opens the door for a young mother to stop and get a hug one day if she needs it or something, and that's what I think, in terms of working together, there's all the practicalities of what we can do, and there's lots of ideas
Wonderful.
on that. But it's also just building the connection and building those bridges with people who don't think like us.
Yes.
It's okay.
And it doesn't matter,
It's
does
okay.
it? Yeah.
No, you're not an evil person. And I think that there's some people, and I understand there's some really divisive, harsh issues that you think, abortion and politics and, you're killing someone, veganism. I know Portuguese is here. Veganism, you're killing animals, da-da-da-da-da, and you're being silly and whatever the topics are. But at the end of the day, we know in our hearts that other person who's killing something we deem shouldn't be killed is not a bad person. They just see that thing a little bit differently to us in the moment. And
Yeah.
we've got to come together on our similarities more.
Well, what's the option? I mean, that's the truth of it, isn't it? It's like, what do we want? I mean, I love it how you're basically talking about creating your own reality as well here, aren't you? Practically, as well as, you know, there is the whole sort of, you mentioned a few things that we're not going to get a chance to talk about, but you have a residency, which is great. And so you'll be back to do that. We didn't touch on the pyramids or go any deeper into telepathy, or the whole sort of metaphysical matter of creating your own reality. But you're doing that practically, and it sounds wonderful what you're doing there. And what's the option? What's the alternative? To stay separate and divided, or to do something about it and enjoy the benefits of that, which are pretty clear when you've articulated them this morning. And it's been very moving as well, I have to say. And it's prompted some comments here. I'm wondering, Mel, if you've got a nickname. I think in my imagination, I'm guessing that if you get a nickname from the locals, you've kind of integrated to some extent. And I imagine my local nickname to be Senor Ondas, because I wave at everybody when I'm walking or driving through my neighborhood. I wave at everyone. And again, I think they must think he's an idiot. He just he doesn't know me. He's waving at me. But then they see me again and I wave again. And they do know me that time because they remember me from the first time I wave like an idiot. And I'm wondering if you're Senora Pedras, the rock lady who is seen with the bucket of rocks filling up the road. But that's a great way to integrate yourself.
I think there may be some, and one of the reasons I've driven out here, I've driven out near my land. I can't get onto my land at the moment because of the weather, but I've driven out near it. Is that I'll just sit in my car near the house, and then I went, oh no, I can't, because Lydia will probably walk past and tap on the window and start trying to say hello to me, and oh, hang on, these guys go past at this time to say hello, and I went, oh, that's really nice. They've only been here a few months, and I'm scared that too many people will stop and talk to me while I'm trying to do this with you, that I actually have to drive out of town to do it. Isn't that wonderful?
It is.
That
it is
a wonderful
it's a
position
pretty amazing measure.
And just a quick thing, because I know we're out of time. For me, this is it. Yes, it's a I don't know what you call it, an ideology or whatever, but it's practical as well. And I think that if we don't, as you say, what's the alternative? The alternative is this: we have the hate and division, and right now, one of the biggest hates and divisions that makes me sad is that between men and women.
Yeah.
And isn't there a song that says, if we have the war between the sexes, there will be no people left? And
I've never heard that before, but that makes sense.
It's a song. I can't remember which song, but that's one of the terms.
Right.
And you go, it's true. That's the negative alternative. If we keep up this division, apart from warring between ourselves,
You could literally kill each other. Yeah, right.
Well, and there's literal statistics saying that men don't want to date women anymore because whatever reasons, and then women are hating on men.
Don't give up. If that's your thing, don't give up on that, please.
That's what I'm saying, is that let's not do that. Let's bridge the divide and say, hang on, we need to turn this around.
Yeah.
And other people are, like, as I say, I see the rising of both simultaneously, the division and the unity simultaneously.
Well, that's
and
right. It's what we focus on, isn't it?
Pushing the positive one. Yeah.
Yes, it's what we focus on. And I think Aviva said, and by the way, yes, I'm all in favor of dating and mating. I wasn't saying we should continue that with the division there. And it's another activity which makes the heart beat faster, of course, as well, in all sorts of
Many
ways.
benefits.
Yeah, we get a choice about where we focus our attention. Absolutely. You've nailed it there. We'll come back to more of your comments and say thank you so much, Mel. No, Portuguesa, keep talking past time. Carl loves that. No, let's carry it over. The pyramids, telepathy, and your project next time you're on. And we really appreciate your comments. In the meantime, your well-being tips in the chat. Have a great day, and thank you for bringing what you brought this morning. Take your party bag on the way out.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Cheers, Mel. Okay, bye for now. There goes Mel. That was superb. From a car in a field on a road where she actually hand fills the what they call the potholes herself as a service to the local community, as well as other great ways of integrating there that you heard. That was lovely. Thank you very much. And I'm sure equally lovely here and from a different angle. Marion Geray joins us now. Olá Bom Dia, Guten Tag.
Olá Bom Dia, Guten Tag.
Tudo bem? You good?
Carl, it is, I heard the last few minutes with Mel, what you were talking, what she was saying, and it's really touchy. And unfortunately, I only got the last few minutes, and I'm trying now to get into and get a bridge now to my topic. And I was thinking of having community or yin yang, men and women. So you can
Yes.
choose. What do you
Can we
think?
not have both?
Can
You
you
know
have
me.
the
Yeah,
British
I want
one?
both. I want both, Marion. Given a choice like that,
Mm.
I'm sure we can squeeze both in, can we not?
Yeah, let's try.
Now, I've had a before we attempt to do that, I've had a correction here. I've been calling myself in my mind, and Tony has his own nickname that he thinks people call him in his area. Terrific, Tony. I'm sure that's true, Tony. An onda is a wave in the sea, and I live near the sea, and of course, I'm not Mr. Wave in that sense because I'm not exactly an ocean-going salty sea dog. It's Acenar. So, Senor Acenar, I guess, is Mr. Waves correctly speaking. So, thank you for that. I'm always trying to get a little bit of progress going on the Portuguese. Hugh is like me. I also wave at everybody as well. I reason that if I don't wave at them, they think I am ignoring them. We do a lot of thinking for other people, it would appear. Right. Community. Yes, the connect yin and yang, men and women. And what was the other angle where we
No,
had
only the two. Come on, it's not even at 9 o'clock. Two.
Okay. All right.
Two angles.
Okay, well, I had to play your video earlier on because I had a coughing fit. But you know what? I'm going to play it again because it's really beautiful.
Yeah,
You
which one
making
do
a
you, yeah.
you making a miso soup, and we'll have a look at the fun that was had at your recent gathering, which of course is building community in a different sense as well. Of course, so you've been at it already. The sap is rising. There is a sense that we do want to come together and we'll come out into the sunshine, and absolutely loving this TCM guidance and philosophy here when it comes to this time of year. And I think we might have been a bit premature when we were celebrating spring last time you were here. Look what happened.
But today is the day. Come on, today is the
really
day.
we
are kicking off spring finally today.
This
together,
time we mean it. Okay, so here's your beautiful video.
Spring is a time to refresh. Start with green tea, a gentle detox for the season. Hydrate and cleans with celery and cucumber. Kimchi supports gut health. Power up with sprouts, tiny but packed with nutrients. For a quick spring miso soup, mix miso paste into warm water. Add mushrooms and tofu. A probiotic-rich boost for your gut and a great source of plant-based protein. Nourish, refresh, and flow with the season.
Look at you. That's fantastic, Marion. Now, which stylist did you use? Which film studios did you use for that? Which production crew did you use? It's a very professional effort.
That's my kitchen.
Is that your own kitchen?
It's my own kitchen and my dining table and all my ingredients. And have you all realized the wine bottle?
Yes, I did. I wondered, was that wine? Is that for making a wine vinegar or just for getting
No,
taste?
you can, in my diet, according to TCM, it is sour. White wine, Riesling, it can tend to be sour. And this is what you have to drink in spring.
Okay, it's an order.
I love that one.
It's an order. Yes, we love TCM even more this morning after that guidance.
I have to sell it, I have to sell it. So unless you do a liver detoxification, a serious one, then of course we have to skip the sour things. Yeah.
Okay, at least for a few hours. Okay. Right. Well, that's superb. And those were some lovely appetizing. I always thought I wasn't a fan of miso soup. It doesn't look great, does it? It's kind of a bit dishwatery. But when you get a good miso soup, it is so nourishing and tasty, isn't it?
Yeah. My one was not really perfect, but there are better miso soups, of course, in Japan, but also in Lisboa. This one was okay because that's the simplest one, without noodles. Yeah. So,
okay.
And without meat.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now you're talking. All right. So the search for the perfect miso soup in central Portugal continues. You probably have to make it at home. And we are lucky because I think we have better access to ingredients now than we've ever had, which is great with all the, I guess, what they call the continental shops emerging around town. Yeah. And you've been also, on this matter, we'll come back to yin and yang. And I'm sure there's something to say about that. Men and women, yin and yang. Let's first look, however, at this wonderful workshop gathering that you've created. Shall I play the videos?
Yes, please.
Is that all right? Okay.
Hi
welcome new beginnings with an open heart. Or I release what no longer serves me and embrace fresh possibilities. Or I trust the natural cycles of life and allow myself to bloom.
That's wonderful. Here's another one. Oh, I think we can talk over this one.
This is, showing my friend Mrs. Meridian.
Mrs. Meridian.
Mrs. Meridian, showing all the 12 meridians throughout our body. Everybody has that. And this is this lovely spring tulip from Netherlands and the great view to the ocean. It was
Where is this heavenly place?
This is close to the Rio Praia do Cortiço.
Right.
South of La Lagoa.
Right. Okay. Where's that?
It's West Cliffs.
Óbidos Lagoon. It's West
Óbidos Lagoon and it's West Cliffs, after Praia del Rei.
Yes.
It's south of Foz do Areio.
Well, I want to say why wasn't I invited, but I actually was, and I feel a fool now because that is such a beautiful environment.
You're always invited to all of my activities.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. And look at these lovely people. They've had a fantastic time. I think that's probably during or after, isn't it? Where they look rejuvenated.
That was after. Yeah. And this, you see our eye massage. So we did standing movements. We did sitting movements. Yeah.
Well, it looks like they had a blooming fantastic time. You know how to look after people as well as teach them these things, right? You have selected some beautiful environments in which to impart this knowledge clearly.
Definitely. Yeah. It's still a bit female focused. There are not so many. I had 2 men, but they didn't want to show up on the photo, or they were somewhere outside. Yeah. But lots of people still here think it is more a female thing.
Now, why is that? Now, I'm a bit new agey, and I always have been. And this has been my observation over the decades, is that whenever I've been to workshops, and actually tip fellas, if you are a single chap and you like, a bit of holistic health, going to workshops is a great way to meet if you're interested in the opposite sex and you want to make friends, and it's a great environment to meet people. But you're right, it's generally dominated by women, isn't it? Why do you think that is?
It is dominated here by women in Western Europe. It's not the case in Asia. And it's also not the case in the USA, because all the masters in China who left China because of the communist system went to the USA. These are all males.
Right.
Okay. So, and you have more Qigong instructors, male, and also followers and practitioners than, for instance, in yoga. Yoga is getting more, I have lots of single men in their 50s who join the yoga group. So I always ask them, is it because of they meet the other sex, or is it really because they want to do something for their body and mind? Right. I don't know. Maybe it is both. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that either, is there?
Nothing wrong. Exactly. Yeah.
And that's very interesting. And maybe that accounts for why I looked at the life expectancy rising in Portugal, which is 82.5 now. But there's a bigger difference now between the longevity of men and women. And maybe it's a reflection of men's disinterest in holistic health and well-being is reflected in that figure. Women live 5 years longer than men, pretty much. In Portugal. So that's interesting. And there may not be a correlation, but there might be, with the way men deal with their health.
But Carl, mentioning this, it was quite hard for me to find Portuguese clients to do Qigong with me, to do the practice.
Of male clients? Or just
also females.
Really?
Both of them.
Right. Yeah,
in general. And now I have one who is practicing with me in a private class. She's a young mother, when she's working, her mind is with the child. And when she's with the child, her mind is with the work, this dilemma. And then the husband and the whole family thing,
Yes.
So, and she said she's watching my videos and said, okay, I have to try it now.
How lovely. Now, that is an interesting point, isn't it? And I think it's something people who've been here for a little while would resonate with. And it's a paradox as well, isn't it? Because I think people tend to say that we love the Portuguese culture. And I think part of that is because it's quite conservative and traditional, which might bring with it not a resistance exactly. because I don't think it's consciousness. I think Portuguese people are quite curious and inquisitive, but changing and adopting new habits, I think will take time, won't it? And I think it serves us to think it will be a while, and it's a long process rather than being pushy about it.
And also, this ability or the being averse to risk, they are not really a risk taker.
Yeah.
And try out new things. They listen very friendly to me when I tell them what I'm doing, Then they say, oh, yeah, okay. But it takes a bit of time, I have to do lots of market development.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's true, I think. Yeah, amazing.
All new things, In Germany, it's no problem. In Germany, Qigong is a recognized, acknowledged prevention for burnout.
Yes.
You get it back you get the money back from your health insurer.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think I suspect, even though it might not be fast enough for many people, the trend is good, and people will, it's just I think there is a great basis in the natural curiosity of people, and especially Portuguese people, because I think the scenario that comes to mind with what you're saying there is like, wow, that's fascinating. And then, this Portuguese person's like, well, that's interesting. And I find that there's a receptivity and open-mindedness. It's like, would you like to try it? No. It's not. It's like, so yes, open to the idea, but not necessarily interested in
at the same time, it is work, when we do our self-massage, when we use our hands, what are they here for? Tap, stroke, whatever. So it is easier to go to a massage place and just lie down and maybe have a nap. This is very, very enticing as well. But here in Qigong, Gong means work. So this means
work the Qi. Okay.
Work on the Qi. And even our meditations are standing, It is
I came here to relax, not to work. Yeah, I understand. This is a work in progress, isn't it? For sure. Very, very interesting.
But I keep on moving.
Yes, Pete's got a yoga teacher friend. He's 80. It's always funny how he expresses his concern that he may be pushing his students, many of whom are below 30, too far. Yes, well done. I mean, lifelong practice of yoga, it clearly yields benefits. You mentioned briefly liver detox. I know you wanted to talk about that today. You've set the scene beautifully. I think spring is here for sure now. We peaked a bit early last time you were here. What is this about the liver detox? Because a few of us do like a glass of wine here in Portugal. Is this the time to lay off, ready for the next season? It's
a good time to first of all mentally make up some plans. Yeah. The liver the organ liver stands for vision, plans, ideas. The seeds which you take out now from the earth, which you have stored during winter. You are trying now to say, oh, this is my plan A, this is my idea 2, and maybe that's a third one, And you then decide what do you want to follow up and want to nourish and let it grow. And the gallbladder, the other organ, the young organ, is in charge of implementing it. Get this idea realized and on the road so that it can grow and you can benefit of it. So this is the idea of the two organs. However, the liver is in charge, it is in charge of our cleaning the blood, the circulation of the whole. So this is more the function organically. Yes. So when they do 1 liter of blood every day in each person, and so it's a lot of work to do. And what you feed will be in your body. And springtime is now important to eat differently and maybe even to do some detoxification.
Right. I had an enforced detox. I didn't eat for a day, which is so unlike me, but I think my body kind of made me do it over the weekend.
Yeah.
I have made up for it since, but I totally get the point. There needs to be a rest from time to time, doesn't there?
And I was also talking about the liver stagnation during the workshop, and it is an imbalance of your organs. If you have too much wine or too much of the fast food or too much fat, it does something with your body. And if you have too much fat, for instance, the gallbladder has to help to digest it.
Right.
Yeah. So, however, if you want to know if you have an imbalance of your liver, you can use a spoon
No way. Here we
Look
go.
at your tongue.
Yes.
I don't want to take out my tongue now, but everybody knows what to do. And you take your tongue and you scrub a little bit. And
Yes.
if your tongue is a bit whitish and on the tip red, it could be a sign of
Yes.
imbalance. Yeah.
Wow. And then what to do with that? What I mean, are there TCM practitioners in on the Silver Coast here?
I have interestingly, I have one Chinese lady now, and I try to get her on board so that we can conduct a real TCM workshop, with her skills and with my skills.
Wow.
And she will tell, or it's always like this: if you have an imbalance, it's first the diet you have to change.
Yeah.
It's also, if you want to lose weight, it is the diet. If you eat more than you burn, I mean, come on. Yeah. It is very simple. This calculation is very simple and clear. So imbalances can be overcome with the diet.
Yeah, absolutely.
The diet in spring is eat what is green.
Yes, it makes so much sense. So there's a little tip for you as we prepare, as we are springing forward, in fact, this week.
Green tea is very good. You get the very nice green tea in the meantime from the Azores. I always like to go local.
Our very own Portuguese green tea. Absolutely.
Yes.
Amazing.
Com heritage, something like that.
In short, then, lean into the green as we make our way into spring. Always
look into the green, Carl.
Yeah,
go on. Look into the green,
Well, get out in nature and enjoy it, basically.
Yeah. And nature, exactly. And you look into the green and you just walk and do something outside with the fresh air and watch what is the nature doing. And nature is now everything you see: blossom, flowers, trees, and this is also your ideas can also blossom now.
Absolutely wonderful. Thanks, Marion. Stay with me because we've got a couple of comments to share. Why not get out into the green, go for a walk in the way that Mel suggested? Ring an old friend up who you might have fallen out with. Say, come on, this is silly. We're just falling out over ideas. Let's get out in the green. Go on.
And, there are Silver Coast walks who do walks every Wednesdays and Fridays.
Wonderful. Okay.
So this is a very good website. You can
go in
go
this part of the world. Silver Coast Walks. Love that. Meet some new friends. Get out in the green at this time of year. A nice reminder. Thanks, Aviva. We get a choice about where we focus our attention, and we'll update everybody on the as and when it forms the New Beginnings Expat Support Group. And you can watch the interview I did with Aviva on our channel about that. It was really good, Aviva. Thank you. Been thinking about real friendship lately. And perhaps the reflectiveness of springtime, coming out of the dark and going into the light. I have come to believe a true friend is one who, after disagreeing about opinions, politics, or religion, still likes you and enjoys a chat, coffee, and a nata, or even a natter. That is a good marker of decent and true friendship, I think, there, John. The key to good relationships is respect, presence, and putting love above our ego-driven opinions. And you know what? That might apply to our relationship with ourselves, might it not, as well? Yeah.
I like the, Buddhism, which is also part of influenced into the TCM, is also overcome the ego.
Yes. Yeah.
This is where we always say, you have to be kind and you have to be grateful what you have and don't look always, you are not the center of the life. It's the community, it's your relations, your interaction. Yeah. This is exactly what the comment was about.
What wonderful and fabulous messages. Go to walksperia.com, is that right, to find out where your retreats are happening and people can get involved, and the weekly Qigong session in Caldeirânia.
See,
are
you in tomorrow, Carl?
I'm not. I've got a note from my mum. No, I would love it. Is logistics.
One day it will happen. Then we make a big story out of it.
Yeah, it's not that I don't want to come. You must not. Please know that it's logistics. It's logistics. Thank you so much, Marion. Always great fun talking to you. What a lovely show we've had. I think we are really, truly ready for spring now. Go lean into the green, folks. Have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning. Cheers, Marion. Cheers, Mel. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
Ciao, ciao.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings a bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show.